She sees the baby move in the cart and he checks it, only to find a rat inside. She yelps, waking the zombie mother first and then the others. The group manages to escape, and he moves through the zombie-filled streets of the city, eventually finding an abandoned hospital, and going inside. Parks finds an opening to another floor, and they all climb up where they will be much safer. Parks, Justino and Karen immediately go on patrol, while Courtwell and Melanie stay back. As they're left alone, the girl asks where she came from. The doctor explains that her and the others were found on a maternity ward in a hospital. They were the children of mothers who got infected with the fungus while they were still pregnant, so the infection got in their system through the placenta. Cordwell tells her that they were different than the other zombies, able to think and react almost like real people. Later, Justino returns, giving Melanie new clothes she found for her, and apologizing that she didn't find any food. That night, Pat and Justino talk about Melanie, and he tells her that the girl loves her. Meanwhile, Karen is guarding the girl, and she bonds with him as well. The next morning, they notice that more zombies have gathered in front of the hospital. They have no more way out. But Melanie comes up with an idea. Since the zombies won't attack her, she convinces them to let her go outside and find a way to move the zombies away from the building. Caldwell doesn't like the plan, but without an alternative plan, the others agree before she leaves. Melanie asks to put on her new clothes. She goes outside and passes the zombies without trouble. Suddenly she sees a cat, hunts it down and eats it raw. Later she goes into a house and finds a little deck. When she comes back, she uses it as a decoy for the zombies, getting them all away from the hospital. Parks puts the mask and the handcuffs back on, and they continue the journey through the abandoned city, headed for Beacon. On their way, they see something strange. The fungus growing out of the bodies of the zombies. Something the doctor thinks is the next stage in the life cycle of the fungus. She then tells Melanie that in her case, the fungus works more as a symbiote than a parasite. Like in the others, going deeper in the city, they find a huge mess of bodies growing into a massive fungus that Caldwell suspects is the reason why no more walking zombies are around. When enough of them come together, they transform into the mature stage of the fungus that can pollinate larger areas, if not the entire world. On their way, they suddenly find a mobile laboratory. They get inside the vehicle and start looking. Traffic Park tries the engine first and then the radio. No more response. Karen leaves on a supply run. Melanie is getting uneasy, like she's about to turn. She tells them that she needs to eat too, and they let her out to hunt. She finds her food fast and tears right through it. When she's done eating, she hears a strange sound and follows it to a bookstore. She peeps through and sees a group of children communicating with grunts. Melanie understands that they are just like her, when suddenly one of them comes inside, and tells the others that he has smelled something. They all follow him out back at the mobile lab. Caldwell is getting sicker, and informs Justina that she has sepsis. Then she starts talking about Melanie again, and how she needs her brain and spine to make the vaccine match to Justina's displeasure. Suddenly Melanie returns, and tells them about the children she saw, convinced that they will hunt for Karen. He's seen walking down a street, and suddenly finding an unopened can on the ground. And then another one until he sees a store, and crawls under the shutter to get in. Once inside, he starts eating and looking through dirty magazines. A little girl appears behind him, startling him. She lowers him between the rafters of the store, and momentarily more children appear when their leader joins them. They all attack Karen together. Meanwhile, Melanie is leading Parks and Justino to him. She can smell him like the other kids did. They finally arrive at the store, go inside and find Karen half eaten. Melanie realizes that the children didn't just set a trap for him, but for them as well. They go outside and see that she was right. The group of kids is waiting for them. Melanie challenges the leader and fights with him. When she kills him to prove to the others that she is the strongest, She's able to protect Parks and Justino. Andy lead them back to safety. They arrive at the lab to see that the door is open. When they walk inside, Caldwell sedates them with some kind of gas. She pulls Melanie toward the slab to perform her procedure, but stops because she's in terrible pain from her hand. She turns around for a moment to fix it, but when she turns back around, Melanie is already conscious and alert. They talk, and she tries to convince the ghetto to give herself up, so that she can save everyone with her vaccine. Melanie almost agrees but asks one last question. She wants to know if the doctor thinks she's alive, or just mimicking human behavior. Caldwell answers with the former. Then the ghetto says, why should we die to save you? Melanie runs out, leaving the doctor in the lab. But she follows her, lagging behind Melanie with no more gun or protection. Caldwell is immediately surrounded by the zombie children. Meanwhile, the ghetto goes to the huge fungus they found before. She sets it on fire with the intention to activate the spores. Unfortunately, Parks had followed her too. And he gets infected. Melody didn't plan for that to happen. As he starts turning, he asks her to shoot him before he becomes one of them. Later, Justino wakes up in the lab protected from the spores. Realizing what has happened, with Melanie waiting for her outside the lab. In the final moments of the film, Justino was woken up by Melanie. Some time has clearly passed. She takes out a whiteboard with her and starts a class with the zombie children, listening to her from the other side of the lab window.